Our 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari عليه السلام, lived a short life of 28 years. In this short life, Imam Hassan al-Askari عليه السلام had to endure great sufferings at the hands of the Abbasid caliphs. But in spite of all that suffering and confinement in Samarra, Iraq, many students benefited from his God-gifted knowledge and later became scholars in their fields. Imam Hassan al-Askari discussed with agnostics of that age many times about the existence of God and the reasons for the necessity of prophets and imams, and many atheists changed their minds and converted to Islam. One of those was Al-Kindi. This man was a great philosopher of Iraq. He collected such verses of the noble Quran, whose meanings were apparently contradictory, in a book called as Self-Contradictions. He wanted to prove thereby that it was not the word of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Qasim al-Kufi in the book Al-Tabdil narrates, "Verily, Al-Kindi, who was a philosopher of his time in Iraq, decided to write about contradictions in the Quran and sat alone at home preoccupied with it. One of his students visited Imam Hassan al-Askari one day. Abu Muhammad alayhi salam asked him, "Is there not a rightly guided man among you who can stop your teacher Al-Kindi from his occupation that has started with the Quran?" The students replied, "We are his students. How can we object to him on this or any other issue?" Abu Muhammad said, "Will you then convey to him what I am telling to you?" He said, "Yes." So the Imam said, "Go to him and offer your services to him in his tasks as though you want to acquaint yourself with it, and assist him therein. Once the acquaintanceship has developed, tell him, 'I have a question which I would like to ask you.' Certainly he would allow you. Then ask him, 'If someone who spoke only using verses of the Quran was to come to you, would it be possible for his intended speech to be different to what you would understand it to mean?' He will indeed tell you that it is possible, because he is a man who comprehends if he listens. So if he confirms this, then ask him, 'So that means that which you have perceived might be different to what he meant, such that you may even be imposing a meaning to a word that is different to its original.' So the student went to Al-Kindi, acquainted himself with him, and politely mentioned the issue to him. He asked him to repeat the question, which he did. Then he pondered into it and thought it to be possible in language and acceptable conceptually. He then said, 'I swear by you to tell me from where you have learnt this argument.' The student replied, 'It is just something that came to my mind, so I presented it to you.' He said, 'Someone like you could not have been guided to this kind of argument nor reach this position in learning. So tell me, from where have you been coming up with this?' He replied, 'Abu Muhammad ordered me to tell you this.' He then said, 'Now you have told me. Something like this could only have come from that household.' He then asked for some fire and burnt all that he had written." Al-Kindi was not alone in benefiting from Imam Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam. Several high-ranking scholars benefited from his ocean of knowledge. There were a host of others who later developed into leading scientists, jurisprudents, exegetes, theologians, and masters of different fields when they came into contact with Imam Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam.